Hello, today I'm going to show you this product over here. It's a transistor tester. A customer of mine asked me to take a look at it because he thought it may be useful for him. So it was cheap, so I bought one and I'm going to try it. First of all, this adapter over here can be replaced with this other adapter over here. So this one is mostly used for bigger chips, like big resistances. This one is mostly for SMD, so that's what we are going to use mostly today. And it also has a function to decode infrared messages. So how does it work? First of all, you make it wake up by pressing the test button, and this is in the infrared decoding mode. If you send an infrared message like with a TV remote or a Mercedes key, it should read the infrared message. Then, if you want to check transistor, unless it's a Zener transistor, then you need to press this button. You can go directly like this. So now it doesn't see anything. If you test, it doesn't find anything. Now this device is charged by this USB socket, so it's quite convenient. Okay, let's try it, I guess. First of all, this adapter we'll leave it for later. Now we use some SMD chips. So when we connect this thing, it does have a direction. The 1 and the A must be in the top. If you try to connect it in the wrong direction, it doesn't fit that well, so you will notice, because there is this hole over here. So make sure the hole matches with this one and you'll be good to go. After you press it down, it's time to make some tests. So we try, for example, something very tiny. Over here I have resistance, and we need to make sure that the resistance is facing down. If it will turn off to save battery, don't worry about it, just let it go. This is a 10 ohm resistance. Let's give it a test. So we wake it up again, and we have a result. Result is 17.5 ohm. However, as far as I know, this is a 10 ohm resistance. Let's try it again by holding it down, just in case. Okay, now you see the value is 10. This is because sometimes this adapter, I found out, it's not that great for SMD because chips are too small. It's not easy that they touch on position all the time. So hold it down and it will be giving you much more appropriate result. If you don't hold it down, then you may get a wrong information. So let's try again without holding it down, without moving anything. As you see, this resistance value, as long as you hold it down, it's going to be okay, but otherwise it's not that reliable. So this is my first advice for who wants to buy this device. It has a lot of usefulness, I guess, but you need to remember how to use it properly. So holding down chips is point number 1 for SMD. If you want to test it this is pin 1, this is pin 2, and this is pin 3. Actually now I test pin 1 and pin 2 together, but I can test also pin 2 and pin 3, or pin 1 and pin 3. They don't really care about the direction. So let's give it a try. Okay, position is alright, and now I'm not holding it down. It doesn't find it at all. So let's push it in place. Yeah, capacitance is what happens when you put something randomly. It will also give you capacitance with your own finger. Okay, so let's test now. And we have a resistance. Those A and K are used for Zener chips, so we don't need to care. Those 2 and 3 can be used as well. That's more convenient using here pin 2 and pin 3. Not a capacitance really. Let's hold it down. And we have 10.4 ohm. So more or less we are getting within 5% of accuracy, 4% of accuracy to be accurate. Okay, let's change the chip. We use 3-pin chips, which are the most tiring ones. So let's see what's this chip. This does look like a triode, but let's see what really is. So we hold it in position without touching the case, the legs, and we press. Okay, this is an NPN transistor. And we also have the value of this transistor. So this is the useful part. We know which one is which pin. So we know, for example, C is pin 1, and we have references of this chip. This doesn't apply only on transistor like this one. In general, they will always give you as much information as possible. However, the limitation is that they don't support a lot of big chips. They only support the small one. So, if for example you enter and end up seeing a diode, that might be because the position of the legs is not correct, or because you're not pushing it down. So because legs will not touch the board entirely, then it will see only two, then it will take it as a diode instead. For example, right now I'm not holding it down, so I have a diode. But as you see, the pin 2 is not seen, it shows only pin 1, pin 3. So we know that pin 2 is the actually problematic one. We hold down in the direction of pin 2 and we should have no problem. And here we go. So what else can we do with this device? We can test some bigger chips. Like for example, if we want to test our resistance, all we have to do is to install this chip instead, which is much more comfortable to work with this adapter, but unfortunately with SMD is not convenient. Another thing you can do for SMD, if you are brave, is to use this kind of adapter. However, these hooks are not ideal for the SMD chips. Let me show you. Let's check how this hook works now. So we take the chip from before and then we need to try to make the hook match in position. However, the main problem is that the hook uses a lot of strength to hold it down. This strength is usually too much to hold the chip in position easily. So that's why I don't really recommend to play with this kind of thing too much if the chip is that small. Also because the chip is small, if the legs are not well done, then it may break the leg entirely. Yeah, so this one for me is not very convenient for SMD. I did make it work, but only one time, and I cannot get it done on the video. So that's not appropriate, at least for my hands. So let's try with a random resistance I will find, and this should be extremely easy. So here we go. Here we have written 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 2. As long as the two legs are in two different numbers, for example 1 and 2, like this, then the test can be done. As all those 2 are the same, and all those 3 are the same, and all those 1 are the same. After we connect, we lock it down like this, so it doesn't move around, then we're ready to test. That's an easy test, and we have a 63 ohm, which is correct. So this is actually a 60 ohm resistance. Let's compare it against a multimeter. And as you see, I have 62, more or less 62 ohm, according to the multimeter. So, as I said, it's an interesting tool. It is certainly as its uses, especially for people who are not used to know which chips fit in which part of the ECU. It's convenient in general for electronic repairers who don't have too much experience with a specific board, so they can see what's mounted where without having to reverse everything from zero. It can save some time. However, don't rely too much on the accuracy of it, because it cannot be compared with a multimeter, as you see. And don't take for granted that the information in case is correct, because it has a limitation which is explained in the manual over here. Let me get the manual. So over here, the manual, which is also in English, shows that testing component parameter outside the specified range may result in incorrect identification of component types. So here there is a range that you want to check, so that it can give you the information you want to see. So for this product, that's it. If in future you are interested into any other product made in China which you want us to test for you, let us know. We would be happy to help.